Is that the backman's worst nightmare, the long ball coming in consistently?
Yeah, I guess it is. But, you know, as backmen, we're at the mercy of the pressure up the field. So that's why it's so important to have that frontal pressure and the mids, you know, covering the space. So, yeah, it can get pretty ugly if there's no pressure there. You do get exposed as a defence, and you know, that's happened a couple of times for us. Fortunately, only a couple of times, but you do see defences getting exposed.
Harry, what do you do that pleases Mick? What does he get a smile out of you doing? Because I love watching you personally. Yeah. I love watching you play. I love the bounce. Yeah. I love the marks. I love the shot for goal every now and again coming through the middle. Is there any one thing you do that Mick comes to you after a game, gives you a cuddle and says, love that, Harry?
Probably just playing tight on my man and winning the one-on-ones. Mick, you know, the way he's coached all throughout his coaching career has been, you know, the foundation has been on one-on-one football, even though we now, you know, teams play the press and all of that, but you have to be able to win your contest. So as long as I'm winning my contest, Mick has got a smile on his face.
Hey, Harry, do you reckon ruckmen unfairly cop it? The butt of a lot of jokes. It's unfair, don't you reckon?
Well, I say they're dumb.
Well, so they've got two brains, so they're taught.
Well, they say you shouldn't handball to them until the finals comes around, Harry, and then the big boys dominate.
Well, you look at Nick Natanui and just, it's hard to make a joke about him. He's just he's unbelievable.
Hard to make a joke about Brad Ottens on the weekend, who was best on ground by a mile. Natanui sensational. Your man Darren Jolly, I thought in the second half, not many would have been able to compete with the way Natanui was playing.
And don't forget Robbie Warnock, Luke.
I was about to mention your man as well, Robbie Warnock.
Very quiet all show, you'd be aware of that.
The Carlton's coming out of you. He had his best ever game, and the mummy for the Sydney Swans. So all the big boys come finals time, you start needing a ruckman, so all the clowns that want to bag them during the year, eat your words.
Harry, does the intensity go up? Can you put a percentage on it from, say, a round 24 game to a final?
Well, our round 24 game was a huge...
Yeah, it was a bad one.
The usual round 24.
Look, I don't know if I could put a percentage on it. All I know is that when you're playing for something, we see it Anzac Day as well. The game gets built up, and no matter where teams are on the ladder, you always get the heavy contest. But I can't. It's too hard to say a percentage, but there's a huge difference. Yeah.
Now, Harry, you're a very intelligent, well thought out young man. I've got Harry's hard questions here in front of me. I'm going to try and get just a succinct answer from you, so we'll keep it to about 20 seconds.
No problem.
Here we go. Is Tom Scully worth $6 million over 6 years?
Yes.
Is the succession coaching plan at Collingwood a good thing?
Yes.
Should the AFL players accept the $1.14 billion?
I can't win.
I like it, mate. It's good. It's succinct.
You seem to be succinct. Not too succinct.
He stunned me with how succinct he is, and I'm going to run out of questions. Right. Should the players accept the $1.14 billion on the offer from the AFL?
Look, I think it's a bit more complex than that. You got to take other things into account. And look, I think I've got full faith in the AFLPA, and they're experts. I'm certainly not going to get into the finance world, but I've got faith that they will deliver the best for us.
Very well answered. Is the season too long? And if it is, what would you do? Scrap the NAB Cup, less games, shorter matches?
To be honest, I'd love to see a longer season. I sort of think of if there were 30 games, then list management comes more into play. You see stars or players being rested. You get younger players coming in, and I suppose it forces you to perhaps coach a bit more.
Geez, Andrew Demetra is going to love you. Imagine the more money they get with 30 games a year.
Longer years, about half the players have just fallen off their couch.
That's just an idea, because I sort of think I'd like to see more lists being utilised. There's such a turnover, and players don't get to get their opportunity. And I was so fortunate being a rookie that, you know, Mick took a punt, I suppose, with me. But there's lots of people that don't get their opportunity on the big stage. So I think if you had a longer season, it would force, you know, other players to get tried.
You've got 1 hour with Julia Gillard, Harry. What's the main thing you want to get across to her?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I'd just like to have a chat and find out how she got to where she is, and draw some inspiration from that.
Is there one thing you're more passionate about? You've got all your causes and your charities that you love. Is there one thing in particular?
Just being able to spread positivity to other people, to be able to empower someone to get the best out of themselves, and then for them to pass that on, to pay that forward. I think that's the most valuable thing you can do in life, is to help someone else.
You're too good for me.
I like the 30 games a season. I like that a lot. We get another break on 1 week. Should Alex Fasolo stay in the Pies team for the prelim?
I think he should. Very talented kid.
If so, who makes way for him?
Oh, gee, that's the hard question. You haven't given him any
Didac,
time.
side bottom, Blair, Beams, O'Brien.
No. Well, maybe he doesn't. That's a hard one.
It is a hard one. Would you take a travel recommendation from Harry O'Brien? If he names a destination right here and now, will you go there in 2012?
Depends where it is.
Where would you send him? Cuba?
Yeah.
Well, good
Cuba.
Cigars and good rum.
What would Robert Walls do in Cuba, Harry? What do you think he'd get up to over there?
He'd do a lot of salsa dancing. I could see him, showing a bit of his moves. You have to try the cigar, and the home of the cocktails. So
beautiful
the
rum.
mojito would suit you well.
Okay, thanks, Harry. I'll give it a go.
He's seen MC Woolsey before, Harry.
Hawks versus Swans. Harry, who's going to win?
Gee, that's going to be a cracker of a game. I don't know. I think I've got a feeling the Swans will win. They've just, I've got, out of all the teams in the AFL, and I've always had the utmost admiration for the culture that, the Bloods culture that they've been able to create.
Hawks will win in a close game.
Swans.
I knew you'd say that. Eagles versus the Blues. Just quickly.
I'll say the Eagles over there.
Eagles at home for me.
Blues. Blues love playing over there at Subiaco.
Do they? I think I'm going to go for the West Coast Eagles.
Okay. Do you want me to give a hero and a villain?
Yes, please.
Okay, hero, Sydney Swans, who Harry admires, and I do too. I think they've been fantastic over the last month. Villain, AFL. How can you possibly charge $10 for that? Have a look how thick it is. There's nothing there. And the other villain, I've got another villain, Dave Hughes, the backslapper. Haven't seen him at Carlton for 10 years. They win a final, first time in 10 years. He's in the rooms giving everyone a slap on the back.
You've whacked Dave Hughes.
I've whacked Dave Hughes.
He was very happy with himself, apparently, in the rooms.
Was he? Yelling at the juddy and everything?
Thank you, Harry. Appreciate you coming in. Good luck in the next few weeks, mate.
Good luck, Harry.
We'll see you next week, once again, Monday night, 1 week at a time.